Okay, we're right on the hour. So we're set. We kick off. Okay, so welcome everyone, and Leeson and Mr. Wise and Mrs. Wealthy. Welcome to you all to this Zoom that we're going to have a chat with you today on the elegance of true wealth and a bit of a wealth taster, some of the things that we want to chat with you about. So what we thought we might do is just to start off by having a little conversation about, well, you know, this tour that we're doing is called the Elegance of Wealth. What does elegance mean and what does true wealth mean? And I thought we might explore that with you. If you have questions, please type them in there or come on and ask the question live, because we have that capacity as well. So let's kick off. So elegance, my love. What does elegance mean?
Go ahead, tell them.
Well, to us, elegance, yes, Leeson's starting already. So to us, elegance is about having the greatest amount of impact with the least amount of effort. And true elegance is where you actually are having a huge amount of impact on yourself and your life, but almost no effort involved in it at all, so that you're actually functioning from a very different place. And one of the things that we've found in our life is creating this elegance is something we actually ask for every morning and every night. We actually literally ask for it. And the way we go about asking for that is just to say, so what else can we create? What else can we expand in our life? What would it take for our life to expand even more? And these are the questions we ask all the time.
Well, the word elegance, most people often wonder, why would you put the word elegance with money and wealth and riches? And the thing is, most people think that the word elegance actually means, you know, beautiful, well-dressed, sophisticated. Like now we in Paris, that's a lot of that happening here in Paris. But the true meaning of the word elegant is not about sophisticated, sexy, and beautiful, and, you know, all of those that they use in fashion. It's to do with the ability to create greater possibilities in your life and in the world with the least amount of effort, but create ginormous, enormous, uber impact in your finance and in your reality and in your life. So that's why we use that word to describe the true wealth. So if you truly have true wealth, you wouldn't put a lot of control, force, and effort to make it happen. And that's what happened in this reality. This reality believes that to create wealth, riches, and money, it's totally opposite to elegance. It's about putting a lot of control, putting a lot of force, putting a lot of effort to make it happen.
And you put on top of that a whole lot of confusion, which is where a lot of people function from. The confusion of what wealth is, the confusion about money, the confusion about creating wealth. So what we invite everyone to do who's listening to this is to actually start to tap into what would elegance look like in your life. Because what we find is that money actually follows simplicity. Money follows when you're choosing to expand your life, money actually follows that. It will not follow confusion. It will not follow the force and the effort that so many people put into this whole thing that they call this financial reality.
So to start off this conversation together, would you be willing to recognize and acknowledge that the true elegance is the ability to create your life with the maximum possibilities, maximum impact, maximum contribution to create a greater world and a greater possibility for everyone concerned with the least amount of effort, and create wealth for you as well. Everywhere that would not allow you to perceive, nor be, and receive that. Everywhere that you think, oh, I don't believe it. Please be willing to just destroy and uncreate your point of view in these 10 seconds. You don't have to totally destroy it if you don't want to. But in this 10 seconds, in this 60 minutes that we are going to be together, if you let go of the point of view about what elegance is and what true wealth is, and just be willing to receive different possibility, and just entertain the thought that what if there is something totally different? If you're able to destroy and uncreate your fixed point of view about what it's supposed to be in terms of create wealth, riches, and finance, you will not be able to receive what we mean by elegance of true wealth. Everything that is time or Godzillion, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right or wrong, good or bad, pop and pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond.
So, Mr. Wise and Mrs. Wealthy, what comes up for you folk, both from the male perspective and the female perspective? Hard to tell sometimes, very hard to tell sometimes. What comes up from your perspective about this notion of elegance and the greatest impact with the least amount of effort? What are the questions that you've been hearing from the many millions of people that you've been talking to over the last few weeks?
Before we get the answer from them, we just want to introduce Saskia, Mr. Wise, and Sabina, Mrs. Wealthy. They are our amazing host that's going to host us in Cologne.
They are the face of new possibilities. Some of them hairier than others.
Totally. I really let it grow every night.
It's working for you. Generative energy, space, and consciousness of the mustache.
Yeah. I was really, for me, this title really is like, it's not logical. So my mind is like spinning around it. How can this be? Because usually it's like you put effort into something, and then if you are lucky, you have some impact. You know, this is the reality I was coming from, a very German reality actually. And how can I trick my mind out of that? You know what I mean?
Well, the fun thing is that if you know there is an elegance in everything, which is the greatest impact with the least amount of effort, if you know that, and you know that here, you know it as a truth, then you'll start to look for it.
So, Mr. Wise, are money, finance, and wealth logical?
No.
Sorry, what was that comment, Mrs. What was that comment, Mrs. Wealthy? I missed that.
So,
I can't translate after the 9 funnels, maybe.
That itself is a paradox. I would love you, Mr. Wise, to explain the logic of money, the logic of finance, and the logic of possibilities, please.
I think the only logic is that they're printed. There is a system to make some physical ones.
Yeah, I could forge some, some money and paint it.
The logic of the money is so crazy. Like if we try to give you, or when we are in Germany and we try to give you our $100 Australian dollars bill, no one wanted it. I mean, that's worth a lot in Australia, even though it's only worth 5 cents everywhere else. But it's, it is not logical. When something has such a value in one country, no one even wanted to have it when you go to another country. So there's no logic, there's no rhyme or reason about anything. So everywhere that we all think that money, finance, and wealth is logical, everywhere that we believe that we have to function from control, force, and effort, and have the right formula, and have to do something and be logical to create it, we have to be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that before we can actually create different possibilities. As long as we're hanging on to it needs to be logical, it needs to be linear, it needs to be done a certain way. Everywhere that we have a point of view that the money only comes to us from the certain source, from the certain thing that we do, and from the certain way, we wouldn't be able to receive it if it comes from something totally outside of your reality.
Wow. And I also have a message in the chat from Elena. I don't know if she wants to speak up, or she says she's surrounded by beauty and natural wealth, but when it comes to money, there's a lack also, like she's speaking to a desert.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Hi, Elena.
Hi.
Morning.
Thank you for your time that you're here. I'm so glad and so grateful for this opportunity. Thank you to all of you. We had a webcast some months ago, and I learned a lot of what you said, and I did a lot in this case, money, energy, and so on. And I'm aware that I'm surrounded by a lot of wealth. The nature is so full, but really, when it comes to money, it's really like a desert. And I'm wondering, not what is wrong with me, but okay, what is wrong? Or what?
Elena, thank you so much for make that analogy, because it's so rich, and actually show us that it's our linear way, or the way we are thinking about it is quite interesting. Because if you think about the desert, and definition we make about the desert as it's not full of wealth, full of riches, full of possibilities, it's probably stopping the beauty of the desert as well. Like Listen and us were in Dubai sometime last year. And when you think about the Dubai is just straight deserts full of sand and nothing else. But the wealth there is just like a beyond. So everywhere we actually put the definition on anything. And thank you so much to highlight that, because it's a definition we put on that the beauty, the wealth has to be a certain way. Like if it's green and lush and you know, the bird singing and the butterfly are flying is more wealth than if full of the desert and sand where it's not wealth. What if they're all just wealth, but it's different way of wealth? What would it be like if we can have it all? We can have both luscious green and wealth of nature, and same as the sand and desert is a wealth of nature as well. So I think that the reason why we're talking about this is the definition we are creating.
That's it.
So all of definition we are creating for us not able to receive the wealth of every single grain of sand, the wealth of every single drop of, you know, rains or whatever. Would we be willing to destroy and uncreate it all, please? Because there is the consciousness and the wealth in every single thing around us. And the whole thing that we are talking about today is that talking about true wealth is just not about the money in our bank account. So everywhere that we still think that the wealth is about the money, the wealth is about the possibilities. So there are possibilities both in the luscious surrounding as a wealth in the possibilities of the desert as well.
I mean, one of the things that I find fascinating, and Elena, thank you for raising this, is if you tap into when you go out into nature, you have this sense of curiosity about you. You'll turn over leaves to see what's underneath them. You'll have a look at things that move in the distance and you'll choose to go and have a look, or you'll just be aware of them. What if wealth was like that as well? What if you were willing to turn over the leaves of what was happening in this financial reality? So you started to actually find, with a sense of curiosity and excitement, all of the possibilities. See, one of the things that we find is that if you've already decided that money has to look like this, or that wealth has to look like this, then you'll stop looking. And there is so much more out there. Just like in nature, there is so much more out there, but it's hidden from people unless they're willing to receive it. And what we invite all of you to realize is that this whole notion of wealth and this elegance of it is from that sense of curiosity and from that sense of possibility start to find out what actually is available out there.
The key message here, or the key question that we would like to pose here is, what would it be like if you could see beauty and possibilities in every single things that you are presented with? What would it be like if you never see anything from projection, expectation, judgment, conclusion, or any past reference point whatsoever, but start seeing the beauty in every single thing? Even the beauty of the things that people see as ugly, there could be the beauty in something in that. So before we go into the judgment of anything or projection anything, just be the question, so what am I not willing to see here? What am I not willing to receive here, that if I'm willing to see the beauty and the possibility in it, will allow me to see something totally different beyond I have ever considered. So everything that would not allow us to be that, we have to be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that. Like we were walking through the street of Paris, and the really intriguing and interesting part is a certain street is so beautiful and things, and you know, you're just so mesmerized by it. But when we get into another street where you thought, oh wow, this is really like just 2 minutes away, it's so sleazy and
depressing.
Depressing. So we start asking, so what's around here that we are not willing to actually look at, to see that it's also beautiful? And we start seeing things in the street that it's would have been deemed not beautiful because we compare to another street which is so gorgeous. So it was just being amazing experience for us to be in this space where it's totally full of adventure for us the last few days, and to be able to see beauty in the place that we have judged that is not beautiful.
So where in the financial world have you decided that things aren't beautiful? Where in the financial world have you decided that it's ugly and you don't want to go there? Because that's what we create. Everywhere where we've got some sort of judgment of anything is where we're not willing to actually create from. And what we invite everyone to do is to recognize that there is no good, there is no bad, there is no ugly, there is no beautiful. It just is. And if you're willing to see things, particularly when you're looking at wealth, you're looking at money, you're looking at finance, you look to see how things are, then you can actually choose what it is that might need to change. One of the most frustrating things for us is to see so many people who could do so much and create so much more in their life, yet are choosing not to go anywhere near what else is possible because they've already decided that it's too hard, it's too difficult, they're too dumb, they won't understand, it's for other people, not us. All those points of view are exactly what's creating that financial reality or that wealth reality for that person. So where in our life have we already decided that we can't, we won't, we don't want to, we don't even know where to start? Where else have we actually chosen that as a starting point for not creating wealth?
What would it be like if we all can see the elegance, the beauty, the infinite choice and infinite possibilities in the space that other people judge as wrong, as not good, as ugly, as lack? And that is the place that we can actually perceive something totally different that no one else can see. And I think that is the space where Steve and I have been doing in business. Anyway, we go into the space when no one else wants to work with. We go into working with a group of people who people judge as being difficult, being not nice group of people working with in the corporate world. But being in that space allow us to stop judging what other people judge and starting to see the beauty in that space. And quite often we find that the people that people judge as being mean, nasty, and not nice are just, elves. that when we allow them to be in that space of no one judging them, they totally change, expand, and grow. So I sense that it's a similar things to wealth as well, because there's so much wealth in all kind of things that if we are willing to actually overlook the ugliness of things and see the possibility behind all of that, what else can you create and generate in your world beyond you could ever imagine?
And the ugliness is where you've decided you don't like something. The ugliness is where you've decided you can't. The ugliness is where you've actually judged it. So one of the most fascinating things is that what we've found is every time that we change our point of view about something, whatever it is, then money follows that. Did you get that? Every time we change our point of view on something, then money follows that. So money starts to appear in all sorts of different ways, purely because we've changed our point of view about something. And it doesn't even matter what it is you change your point of view about, as long as you're willing to change it constantly. And this is why we love the idea of every morning we'll say, so where does our attention need to be today? Where does our attention need to be today? What would our life be like if we expanded it today? What would that look like?
But we were even playing with that yesterday. I had a lot of point of view about beef tartare. Beef tartare. Really super love point of view about it. And yesterday we went to lunch at this place and we ordered some beef that have, like my French not that good. So end up that we end up having beef that really slightly cooked, like for probably 1 second in front of something else. But I thought, okay, so if I'm willing to receive this, and I'm willing to have it, what can I create and generate beyond all that? So I ate it and it was so delicious. So amazing. Like,
can you say again?
I probably would. Pardon?
Can you just repeat what you did? Because we missed out the beginning. You froze and you were gone. When you ordered the beef tartare, what did you ask? What did you choose?
I just talked to them in English, but obviously lost in translation a lot between our conversation. But I ordered anyway because the energy was quite right. But when it came, I looked at it and thought, oh, everywhere that, all the fixed point of view about this meat not being cooked at a certain way. In fact, it wasn't cooked at all. So I was willing to, I was willing to actually try it and receive it. And I sense my life expand totally because I'm willing to receive something totally different.
Can we just stop there for a minute? Can you listen to what Yutissa said for about 450 different times? Every time that she changes her point of view about something, and every time she's willing to try something, it creates a change in our life. And the same thing happens with money. Every time you're willing to change your point of view, every time you're willing to try something different, not the same thing, something different, and you're willing to have no judgment about it, it creates a whole new awareness and a whole new possibility for you. The same thing is with money. The same thing is with wealth. If you're willing to look at something new, you're willing to try something new, then you will create different possibilities. This is not just about feeling good. It actually works in this reality because what you're doing is you are starting to get this reality to work for you rather than you always feeling you have to work for this reality.
The elegance of true wealth is not about focusing on trying to make more money, trying to generate more income, trying to produce more revenue stream, but more about expanding your life. Can you tap into that energy that true wealth is about expanding your life? If you could actually perceive and receive that true wealth is not about just focusing on how much more money can I make today and what else can I do to actually create more money today, but put your energy into expanding your life. Be in the question about what can I be and do different today to expand my life? And it doesn't look like whatever you think it is. So the key thing is, if you expand your life, your finance and your wealth will expand. I will say it again. If you are willing to expand your life every day, every way, in every moment, your finance will expand. So instead of trying to focus on expanding your money, because at the end, we realize that by just making more money, so what? Because most people think that by making more money, it will give them a better life. No, it's opposite. By creating a greater life, you have more money. Everything is opposite to what it appears to be. In this reality, people keep thinking that if I can generate more money now, I can create different reality. By having more money, most people think that they're going to have a better life. No, by choosing to generate and create greater life, greater possibility in your life, your money will start growing and expanding. And I mean, by me able to receive eating beef tartare, it's totally so many different possibilities, because I've been coming to France the last 20 years, and this is the first time ever that I touched beef tartare. So who knows what else I'm creating and generate, but I know that my life already expands from choosing something totally different.
An aha moment becomes a beef tartare moment. Oh, beef tartare.
Jonas and Netan are going to be very happy to hear this.
See, the reason that we invite you to look at this is that everywhere where you've decided anything is what is actually stopping the creation of true wealth. And what we're finding more and more now is that as we expand our life, and we constantly look at that every day, then we are open to and are willing to see the different possibilities of creating money in so many different ways. See, one of the things that, and we've said this for many, many years, and hardly anyone ever understands what we're saying, so I'll try it one more time here. And that is, do you know how much hard work it is to not make money? How much of a full-time job it is to not make money? It's the opposite of elegant, because you have all of this effort to create zero result, so that you've already decided that it's so much hard work. And because it's hard work, you don't look to see how you can make it actually easy. So if we start to flip that and say, well, where is the elegance of this? How can I do less effort, less control, less force, but be willing to see the possibility in everything? That's where you start to create this elegance, the possibility in everything. No problems, just possibilities. What would that look like? So if you feel that you are in the desert of no money, what if you started to look at the possibilities that can be created that are very different, that would make your life even easier? Because there are billions of ways that you can create that. But you are spending every single minute of every single day refusing to see what those billions of ways are. And that's a full-time job for many people.
And we are inviting you to start looking a different way to create your reality and your life by every day when you wake up in the morning, begin your day by asking, what can I be and do different to expand my life and my reality today? What can I do one thing today that will expand my life? You know, it could be eating some food that you would never even think that you're eating, or you know, whatever, just one thing every day that would expand your life. I would invite you to start asking that and then do it. Because, you know, it's a lot of wishful thinking by saying, oh, I would expand my life. If I have more money, I will do that. No, whatever you would like to do just for you, just for fun, you don't even have to tell anyone. Just do one thing every day that will expand your life. And it has to be fun. You know, if you're going to do something that it expand your life, not doing it just for the money. Don't do it with the invested in the outcome that will this make me money. No, just do it because it's just going to be fun for me to do that. For us, when we travel, traveling expand our life, not because anything. And, you know, we don't visit all the museum or any of those, but we'll just follow the energy. But by just sitting by, you know, talking to people out there, to people we meet and things, it just does expand our life. And we learn so many things. So just do one thing every day, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 every day that will expand your life. And you will notice that your financial and your money and your wealth will expand.
So let's have a conversation with some of the people online here. Mr. Wise, you have something to say.
Hello. Yeah, it's really awesome what you're saying, because I was also wondering, and some people I was speaking to were wondering, like, what it is about true wealth, because usually you think wealth and then you think money. And I even looked it up in a dictionary, and the origin of the word in English and in German actually is like well-being. It's not about the money, and the money was added later. So really the origin of the word wealth is like, you're well, and then everything falls into place. And I love the conversation, because usually it's like people are doing effort or they're doing wishful thinking. And it's in this reality, it seems like where's the pathway to wealth, and nobody can find it. And now you're opening it actually, and I love this. And yeah, I would love to invite people to ask questions. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well, if you expect, you said, Mr. Wise, if you expand your well-being, and your well-being is your top life, your health, your wealth, your relationship. And to us, true wealth is about infinite choice and infinite possibilities. If you can actually create your life from a space of infinite choice and infinite possibilities, not about looking at the money, but looking at, okay, what choice do I have today to actually have fun? You know, what choice do I have today that will expand my life, my awareness, my other possibility in my life, and just go with it and do it. Any question now, Mr. Wise, from people? Otherwise, we just keep on talking.
I have a question, if I may.
Yes, please.
Okay, hello. Back again to the nature and desert, wie sagt man, Metapher?
It's a metaphor.
Yeah. After the conversation, I had an aha moment. I wrote it in the chat that the picture of the nature, it's growing by its own. The tree, it's growing by its own. The flowers, the grass. And when it comes to money, and this is the reason why I have the picture of the desert, I have to make it happen. I have to make it green. I have to find the oasis, as the oase, and of course the desert is full of life. It's full of opportunities, and it's also wealth. But warte mal ganz kurz bitte. And I have still something like a gap, and I was thinking, okay, so maybe it's a good idea to sell water in the desert, because maybe everyone needs it, yeah, just as opportunity, yeah. So, but yeah, there's still something that make it separate the nature, the green nature, and the desert thing. Both are wealth and everything. I understand this, I feel this, but I cannot bring it together because of the fact that the nature is growing by its own to make it green and to make money in this method.
Everything
Yes.
that lock you into the confusion, everything that lock you into that
Visual image
that not allowing you to embody and be the riches and the wealth of the nature that you truly are yourself, because you put the analogy and metaphor outside yourself. And at the moment, every time you're describing that, the metaphor and the way you describe it, it's outside of you. So it's become like a confusion that you cannot understand. You're trying to understand your own metaphor. So everywhere that you create a metaphor for you to have the reason and what did Mr. Wise call this before? The logical. Every time that you want to try to make your metaphor and your analogy of the nature and the desert logical, would you be willing to let that go? Would you be willing to destroy and create the metaphor, because you are already the beautiful possibility that you're not willing to claim, own, and acknowledge it. And as long as you look at it outside yourself and talking about it from the metaphor and from the analogy of it, you are not being it, because you're trying to understand it. So everywhere that you're trying to understand it with your mind, instead of claim, own, and acknowledge it, that you are the source of possibility for you. You have to be willing to say, for you to change your reality, for you to change your financial reality, would you be willing to claim, own, and acknowledge that you are a creator source of your wealth and your financial reality? Would you be willing to claim, own, and acknowledge that, Elena?
Sort of.
It's working.
Okay, you don't have to accept it right now. Would you be willing to run this? Would you be willing to run this question for yourself every day?
That's better.
Okay, our internet is unstable. Who created that?
I would say now, fact, sorry. I listened too much to Dane's videos, because you gave me such a awareness now, and my deserts become green. The picture, it's something changed. Thank you so much for this.
Mm-hmm. Be the energy. If you follow Dan, you will know that he talks about energy. He's being that energy, space, and consciousness of possibilities when he talks to you. So let go of your head, your mind, and receive. If you listen to a lot of Dan's, receive the energy that he is giving you. Tap into the energy that Dr. Dan here is being. He's being the generative energy, space, and consciousness that allow you all to be you. When you are being you, you're truly being you. Everyone who actually been listening to Dan, when you truly being you, you become the creator source of your own reality. Tap into that energy. And when you become the creator source of your own reality, you don't look for outside to create something to you. Then you start being the question, what generative energy, space, consciousness can my body and I be that would allow us to have the clarity of what we can generate and create today that's totally fun for me? What's one thing that I can be and do different today that will allow my life to expand? And tap into that energy, particularly for you, Elena, that you listen today, and that energy of possibility that he's constantly talking about. Be that energy of possibility and ask that question from that space of possibility. What can I be and do different today that would expand my life? And take the money out of the computation, because when you expand your life, every day your finance will expand.
I have just one experience to share to all of it. In October, I was at the Being You event in Cologne, and then I try, and I tried to be me. And suddenly, after months, I was in my kitchen with the clothes to wash, and I stopped. And then I said, okay, Elena, now be. Just be. Do nothing, think nothing, expect nothing. And this was an experience. It was in the first step, it was so hard because it was so unusual. Not to think, not to do, not to judge myself, yeah. And I did it a lot of times just to stop and just to be. And it's a funny, really funny experience because everyone is talking about be yourself. And I said, okay, but what does it mean to be myself? What does it be to be wealthy and so on? And it's really, for me, it was a practical experience day by day, just not to brush my teeth in the moment when I'm have the routine, just to stop and say, okay, I oh shit, this is the feeling of being, yeah, and so on. And
that's very cool because most of us never been given a space to be. All of us, ever since we were born, being taught that we have to do something to achieve something instead of just be. But at the same time, though, we have to realize that a lot of people that is just being but not actually instituting something either. So you have to have a balance that once we are being from the space of infinite choice and infinite possibilities, once you're actually able to embody and be that infinite choice, infinite possibility, being the infinite being that we truly are, we still have to be willing to do something because we are still functioning in this reality. Well, otherwise, we'll be sitting there waiting for something to drop so we can receive it. But why don't we just make the choice to be a creator source and go out and make it happen? So that's one thing that the fine line between trusting that something's going to happen and not making a choice to do anything at all. To trusting that we can create it and something will happen, but somehow we have to be willing to be and do. If you listen to that question, willing to be and do something totally different to create it instead of waiting for it to happen to us.
Yeah, we find a lot of people talking about, I'm choosing to be wealthy, I'm choosing to be wealthy, but they don't institute anything different at all. And so this notion of instituting, which is where you actually not only choose, but also create and do something different at the same time. Too many people go into the black hole of, I'm choosing, I've changed my point of view, but nothing else changes. There's no instituting. So the wonderful thing about realizing that every choice you make also creates, and what that creates is the possibility of you instituting something totally different you'd never thought of instituting. You don't just sit and wait, you actually institute as well. So if you're looking at wealth, for example, or money or finance, what is it that you can institute different that you'd never considered possible beforehand? Because there are billions of ways you can do that. But until you've actually made, first of all, the choice, and secondly, now I'm going to actually institute something. I'm going to do something. I'm going to both create and also institute at the same time. Until you're willing to be that, then there is no elegance in it. It is just wishful thinking, and there's a lot of force and effort that will stop you before you even get to the institution part of it.
Oh, this is so beautiful. And when Juditha was speaking before, I was seeing a lot of bodies relax and having some tears. And I'm really getting that the bodies are perceiving that the effort is falling off you know, the effort of doing and trying to reach something and get the money and stuff like that. And this instituting is so different because it's from another space. It's not effortful. I don't know if this is an English word. Yeah, it's like, oh wow, there are the possibilities. What can I institute now? And it's so different than I have this lack and I have to be wealthy, and now what do I have to do, and how much can I do to have more? And the energy is so different, and I'm so happy we are exploring this in this call, because it's like, oh my God, this is the world I was asking for. This is the reality I was asking for, this lightness and ease. And oh, I'm so happy I'm the host.
Top secrets from the Bowmans.
Yeah. And what would it be like, Mr. Wise, Mrs. Wealthy, and everyone, that what if our target is to start looking at what can we be and do different every day that will expand our life every day? This is a home play we're giving you today. Ask yourself every day, what can you be and do different today to expand your life today? And for those people who's going to come back on tonight, we want to know, what have you been and do different today to expand your life today? Mr. Wise, Mrs. Wealthy, and listen, we want the answer from you.
Now, we've had a great question from
Juditha.
Hilda's given us a great question about what's the difference energetically and practically between doing and instituting and generating. So a lot of people have heard of the, be, then do, then have, but it's been misapplied so many times. The doing part of it, people think the doing is being busy doing things. Instituting has a real focus of what needs to change. What do I need to create and generate that needs to change? Instituting is where you actually create that change, not just wishful thinking. And the doing part, people misidentify doing as just being busy. I've got to do things. I've got to do things. I've got to do things. Okay. Instituting is a real focus on what needs to change right now. What do I need to change right now? I'll do it later. No. You institute right now.
And about actualizing as well, because otherwise, what you want to create become a wishful thinking. If we don't actualize it, it just become a wishful thinking. So we have to be in the question, what do I need to be and do today to actualize something that I made a choice to create? I made so many choices every day before we even get out of bed. And here we in Paris, we wake up 3 o'clock. So it gives me a whole hour to come up with 100 impossible things that I could create today. So I have to be in the question about what would I like to actualize it for today to expand my life, because we all have so many great ideas, but we are, so what do I need to put my energy today to actualize it for today? Otherwise you get overwhelmed by the idea of, there's so many great ideas, I don't know where to start. Just go with the one that have the greatest energy. Go with the one that when you are don't go into any conclusion. When you have a lot of ideas, you have to be in the question, what would create more? Where could I put my energy today that will generate more than I could ever imagine in my life, that would expand my life today?
Eppo, you had a question, and then Karen has raised her hand. I haven't seen that for ages. So Eppo first. Over to you, Eppo.
No, it's Anita.
Anita.
Hi.
Anita, I must say, you are much cuter than Eppo.
Oh, no, they're both cute.
No.
Thank you.
Come on,
I like him the way he is.
Yep, they're both cute.
I have a question. When I present people the opportunity, I talk about access and I talk about the platform I found out. And everybody gets excited when I talk about it, and they love it, and they want to join, and they want to do things, and then it falls into nothing. They don't act on it. And do I have too much expectations? That's my question.
Yes.
Yeah,
Next.
yes.
Okay. The answer's yes.
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 Because
Yeah.
if you're presenting anything to people without any projection, expectation, judgment, and conclusion, and allow people to choose themselves, you know, they would choose whatever they would or would not choose.
Provide
Because-
possibilities, move on.
Yes.
Provide possibilities, move on. Provide possibilities, move on. One more time. Provide possibilities and move on.
Just for you, Anita, not for anyone else. No, it's for everyone. So when you present anything that you want to talk to people about, present it to them from the space of choice and possibilities. And if you starting to sense that you're doing it from space of projection, expectation, judgment, and conclusion, you have to pull yourself back and say, everywhere that I'm coming from, projection, expectation, judgment, and conclusion, destroy and uncreate it all. And keep doing that, destroy and uncreate the energy of projection, expectation, judgment, and conclusion, because when you have that energy, it sort of dissipate the possibilities. So be willing to do that, Anita, because you're going to see such different things, and you're going to start present it from the space of joy, space of possibility, that people will say, I like to have what she's having. You know, that movie, that same energy. What would it be like if to be in that energy of, what was that movie when Sally
Harry meets
Sally.
Harry met.
Yeah, you know, that one, that be that energy that instead of saying you have to have this, this is a possibility that we really would like people to do. Create from the energy of everyone wanting to have that energy that you provide, without any conclusion, projection, expectation, judgment.
And exactly the same thing when you're looking at revenue streams, when you're looking where money can come from, where you're looking at actually creating money. Every time you've got an expectation of how it should look like, then you've just destroyed what could be. So if you have that same energy, Anita, when you're looking at the sources of revenue, the sources of possibility are one and the same thing. If you judge it and you've decided exactly how you want it to be, you will destroy everything. So you have to be that sense of curiosity, that sense of possibility, and then move on to the next one, and be that sense, and move on, and move on. And this is what we mean about creating your life every day. Not having the answer for anything, but always looking at what else, what else, what else.
I'm sure, Anita and Apple, you probably experienced many of this energy in your life as well, that once you let go of the need of the things to be a certain way, things turn out beyond you could ever imagine.
Right.
Yes, you just had a recent example of that, yeah. I think, Anita.
So everywhere that you have about how things are supposed to be a certain way, just tap into that and say, okay, here I am. I have a fixed point of view about how things are supposed to be the certain way. I'm willing to destroy and uncreate all of that, and be willing to receive it to turn out to be whatever beyond you could ever imagine.
Karen, do you want to have a chat to us? Because I gather you're in the car or somewhere. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Karen, are you in what country? In Hong Kong?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Where are you? What country?
I'm in Taiwan.
You're in Taiwan.
Hi. I'm in Taipei.
Cool.
Hi, how are you? Yes, I have a question I want to ask.
Yeah.
How can a small company become a bigger company?
Expand your company every day.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
A small company to a bigger.
How can a small company become a big company? Well, by having a point of view that it's a big company. Have the point of view that you are already a large company. What do you need to put in place to actualize that? If you think of yourself as a small company, you will only prove that you are a small company. If you have the point of view that you are already a global, very large company, then what do you need to put in place to support that? Karen, your point of view creates your reality.
So basically, ask yourself, what would you like to create as your company in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years? How large, how huge would you like that company to be? And you have to be willing to ask the question, what can I be and do different every day to allow you to become that? Because you can't go from little company to big company instantly like magic. Or you could, but it's like in this reality, it still has to have a system and something in place to allow you to become that. So every day ask yourself, what do I need to put in place to allow me to expand this business every day? So is that, are you asking for your own business, or are you asking in general?
Do you know we have a one-day in Germany, in Bonn, we have a one-day VIP session where we actually look at this very question and how we work with the people there. There's only 10 people can come along to it. We've got 9 already.
At the castle in
Germany.
In
But
Bensberg.
great question,
Near
Karen,
Cologne.
because most people think that I want to know the answer for how to move from a small company to a great company. Do I need more customers? Do I need to go and borrow money? All those are already judgments. If you're willing to be that large company, then you will start to look at things differently. You will ask different questions. You will be with different people. You will look at things differently. And we have many, many examples and many stories to illustrate if you change your point of view about your company, then things change automatically, straight away.
And what does being a large company mean to you anyway? In this in today's world, people don't look at building a huge corporation anymore, but create many small companies that generate multiple streams of possibilities. Is that something you would like to create? And if you focus on building the large company, it's different energy again. If you have 100 small companies that you manage and create that totally produce different possibilities in the world, is that more expensive than have one large company that do the same different every day?
And it might be a large company, but still makes no money.
Yes. So I'm inviting you to ask Karen, are you looking to create greater possibilities in your business? Which means it doesn't have to be large company. It means you can produce multiple streams of possibilities with your business. What would it be like instead of creating one large company that make $500 million as the revenue into 500 small company that provides multiple stream of possibility that's create multiple millions of dollars for each companies? Which one more fun? Which one would create greater possibilities?
And why not do both? Have a large company and a whole lot of small ones too, because you can. But if you've already decided you want a large company, you will already destroy the possibilities of having many smaller companies as well. Just a thought.
Yeah, I see. It seems like lots of things change after many years. The business model nowadays is no longer working anymore, and we are facing a lot of challenge on my family's business, and it seems like we need to have something new.
So destroy and uncreate all of the energy and all of the point of view about your business, and be willing to create your business new every day. Everywhere that you're hanging on to the point of view that you have to create your business the old way and keep making it bigger, would you be willing to create a business new every day? Everywhere that you think, oh, I have to get something new. It's going to, oh, wow, I'm going to create something new.
Yeah.
Different energy.
Don't try and fix anything. Don't try and fix it. Create something different. If you try and fix, you will destroy. If you create something different, then you may keep the other business as well, but it doesn't matter because you're already creating other things as well. If you've decided there can only be the one business, then good luck.
Have you destroyed and created your relationship with your business? Have you destroyed and created the energy of your business that you have been creating so far every day?
Not every day, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Would you be willing to create your business new every day? And the thing that is supposed to be there will get created more and more and more. The thing that the times come to end, then it would just go away. It would create the space for you to create something totally different. So be willing to destroy and create the relationship that you have with your business, with everyone in the business. And ask your business to destroy and create itself every day. And then you can create your business new every day. Are you willing to lose everything that was so successful up to now? Everywhere that would be willing for you to lose that, all the success, destroy and create it all. Because if you're hanging on to, oh, it has been so successful, I have to make it successful again. Please create all that. Because once you let go of the need to hang on for it to be successful, same, but different, destroy and create it all, please.
This happened in our business. So we've got real life experience of how this happened in our business, where I'd already decided that something that was successful needed to continue being successful. And I was slowly destroying that part of the business until I changed my point of view about it. And we went and we doubled revenue just as soon as I changed my point of view about it. But that's another story for another day. Okay, that's a great question. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, drive safely. Drive safely.
Thank you.
Okay,
so we'll finish.
This is Taiwan. Okay, thank you.
Oh, you park. That's good. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, see you soon. See you in Dublin.
Oh, yes.
Yay.
Bye.
So everyone, thank you for being part of this. It's been a great conversation. The key thing that we invite you to do is to look at what the elegance of true wealth means to you. What does the elegance look like for you? Creating your life every day anew and in a different way is a great way to look at that. And then true wealth. What does true wealth mean to you? Because the elegance of true wealth is a possibility that every single one of us has access to, but some things need to change.
So remember one thing, ask yourself, what can you be and do different today to expand your life today? Just ask and do something different today that will expand your life today.
And have fun with it. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.